Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisheshta Sunyavadi Auschadya Desatarini Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Are you able to see screen share?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes,
Yes, Prabhu.
So let us start. Just give me a couple of minutes. Let me be ready. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, devotees, for joining for this session of Srila Prabhupada Lilamrt. And today we are going to see a very, very scintillating incident in the life of Srila Prabhupada. Something that should give goosebumps to all of us, because in the history of this planet or in the history of this universe, this event was the most momentous event that would change the life and the history of this world forever. The life of the souls which are trapped in this world was changed forever by this one incident that happened in the life of Srila Prabhupada. And that is what we are going to see today, which is Srila Prabhupada meeting his spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada meets Srila Prabhupada. That is the heading of today's topic. Actually, His Holiness Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was originally called Srila Prabhupada by all his disciples. Prabhupada means one who is at the lotus feet of the Lord always. That is one meaning. Second meaning is one who has got so many devotees who are sitting at his lotus feet. So that way, Prabhupada is at the feet of Krishna and his Guru, and at his feet, so many devotees are there. So when Srila Prabhupada, that means our Srila Prabhupada's disciples, requested him permission to call him Prabhupada, Prabhupada agreed, because he saw the mood of his disciples. The disciples felt very much that the title Prabhupada will fit to our Guru, Abhay Charanaravindra Bhaktivedanta Swami. So that title was attached to him. So whenever I say Prabhupada, please careful to whom I am referring to. Hare Krishna. So with this introduction, so this is the initiation ceremony of
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, not audible, Prabhu.
I think Prabhuji has left. I think he'll join again. Hare Krishna. Namah Shadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Ashtakadeshatari Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gauri Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama
Hare Krishna, can you hear me?
Hare
Yes,
Krishna,
yes, Prabhuji.
yes,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna, Prabhuji, we can hear you.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Suddenly my internet went and it is restored. I don't know how long it will remain. Just 1 second. Let me see my Live streaming is going on. Yeah, live streaming is going on. Hare Krishna. So we should never think we are the doer. There is always Supreme Lord who decides what should happen, what should not happen. So just give me a moment to reopen my PPT. Okay, can you see the screen?
Yes, Prabhuji, we can see.
Okay, so let us move on. So this is how the initiation is happening. You can note the year 1933, when Prabhupada was 37 years old, and it happened in Allahabad. So we will see the story. I would like to go on talking about it for a very long time, but because we have limited ourselves to 1 hour and we have to also move the story ahead, I will try to speak briefly, but try to feel the mood of the whole thing. That is what is important. We should become absorbed in what we are seeing here. So this is the Guru Maharaj of our Srila Prabhupada. His name is Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So he was born in 1874 and disappeared in the year 1937, the 1st of January. And just 4 years before his passing, our Abhay Charan got initiated by him. And it happened in Allahabad, where Abhay Charan was situated at that time. That means Saraswati Thakur came to his place and gave him initiation. Because Saraswati Thakur was otherwise situated in Calcutta. But he came to Allahabad, where he opened a temple also with the help of Abhay Charan. And at the same time, he was also given initiation. Let us see the story. In this picture, you are seeing the Guru and his childhood pictures and his mother and the room in which he was born. So all these things are there in this picture. Let us move. And in this picture, you are seeing Bhakti Vinod Thakur, who is also a Parampara Guru. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati is a Parampara Guru. Same way, Bhakti Vinod Thakur is also a Parampara Guru. And he happens to be the father of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. He is the father of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. His lifetime, you can see, 1838 to 1914. He is the one who laid the foundation for the tree which we see today, both Gaudiya Math and ISKCON. The original blueprint was prepared by Bhakti Vinod Thakur, who is the father of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. In the year 1896, Bhakti Vinod Thakur wrote a book on Chaitanya's teachings and his life and teachings. And that book he sent to various universities abroad and to very influential people abroad. And that year coincided with the birth of our Srila Prabhupada. So it was, it was an indication that yes, this desire of Bhakti Vinod Thakur to spread Chaitanya's mission throughout the world will be accomplished by this child. The very same year, the first book of Bhakti Vinod Thakur went abroad, the book written in English, and same year, Srila Prabhupada was born. So here you see him in two different uniforms. You see, he was in the magistrate. He worked under the British regime. The British regime respected him a lot for his brilliance, for his commitment, for his honesty and his efficiency. He would write 20, he was the magistrate, you can imagine, combined Bengal and Bihar and Orissa. He was a combined magistrate under the British regime. 20 cases he would hear and write the judgments every day. Only one hearing, judgment will be written, and it will be perfect, no contest. 20 cases. Such was his efficiency. When he had to retire, British government said no. Bhakti Vinod Thakur wanted to take retirement because he was already serving the Gaudiya movement, but he wanted to commit himself full time. So he wanted to retire. British government said nothing doing. Excuse me. Wherever you are, we will pick you up and bring you to Krishnanagar, where is your office, and we will drop you back at home. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur was staying in a small town, not a town, it was a village called Swarupganj in the Navadvip area, because he wanted to move to Navadvip area. They laid a railway track, a narrow gauge railway track from his home to Krishnanagar. Every day he would go to the Krishnanagar office, he would hear the cases, he would write judgments, and by afternoon he will be back home, continuing his Gaudiya Vaishnava services. Unlimited things can be told about the life of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He is called the seventh Goswami. We know the sixth Goswamis, Rupa, Sanatana, Raghunatha Bhatta, Raghunatha Dasa, Jiva Goswami, Gopala Bhatta Goswami. These are the six Goswamis who were the contemporaries of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu lived in between 1400s and 1500s. But here, Bhaktivinoda Thakur takes birth 300 years later. And they call him the seventh Goswami. Because the entire Gaudiya mission was revived by him single-handed. What was originally established by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, his associates, and the six Goswamis, by going around preaching, by writing amazing books, explaining the philosophy, everything was lost for the next 300 years. In the place of the pure Vaishnavism that was preached by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates, a degraded Vaishnavism took its place. They were practicing all kinds of immoral activities in the name of Vaishnavism. They were called Sahajiyas. Bhaktivinoda Thakur identified all these influential but immoral, deviated movements which went under the name of Vaishnavism. Because of that, people of that age were not respecting Vaishnavas at all. They said, what is this Vaishnavism? These are all immoral people. Why? Because they thought Krishna is also an immoral person. They thought Krishna is something like a man. They did not know what is Achintya, what is the power of the Supreme Lord. They simply said, oh, Krishna is also dancing with women and they are not even married to him. Krishna is dallying with so many women. He's marrying so many, with so many, he's not even marrying. They are the wives of other people. So what is this Krishna is doing? They are also doing the same thing. And in this way, we are pleasing Krishna. And they would begin to act like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They would say, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna only. And they would bring all women around them and they would enjoy like that. And they will say, this is spiritual life of a Vaishnava. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur fought left and right against all these things. He wrote books, but he was having his business, meaning his job. He had a family of 10 children. So with all these things, he laid the blueprint. And then he prayed to the Lord of Puri, Jagannath, and said, please send me a son who will execute this blueprint. I have prepared a blueprint, but I am growing old with multiple responsibilities. Please send me a ray of your effulgence as a child who will do this. And then he got Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati as his son. I have already shared with you how amazing was his birth. Even when the child was barely 6 months old, Jagannath Rath stopped in front of their house. And until the baby was put in front of Jagannath, and then the garland of Jagannath fell on the body of the child. And everybody said, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Sachinanda. The garland fell on the body of this child. And then they removed the child and the chariot started moving. Such an amazing thing happened. When Saraswati Thakur was born, and this Bhaktivinoda Thakur is the father of the child. So you can, even now you can see the birthplace has been converted into Gaudiya Math. On the Grand Road only, where the Rath Yatra goes, that road between Chaitanya, between the Puri Jagannath temple and the Gundicha temple, the Rath cart moves. On the way, you will see this house. Today it's Gaudiya Math, and there is a birthplace of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, and that is the residence of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So very quickly, I have introduced these two personalities to you. There won't be much time to talk more about them. So Prabhupada eloquently spoke about his guru, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. So much has been spoken in his various Vyas Puja occasions also. Prabhupada has spoken. You can try to listen to all these lectures to develop that strong connection with our parampara. You should develop that. It's not that we are chanting, we are reading the books, and we are understanding the philosophy, and we are progressing. That's not the correct understanding. We are surrendering to the parampara and taking their mercy, and that is how we progress. So how to surrender to the parampara? You should know more and more about our spiritual masters and the parampara. And for that purpose only, I am requesting you to listen to those lectures of Srila Prabhupada. And also there is a book called The Seventh Goswami, which describes the life and times of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Please try to read it whenever you have time. These are things we need to do. We owe it to our parampara to become committed devotees and to serve the mission. If you read the life of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, how every day he slept only 2 hours. Only 2 hours. Rest of the time he was writing books. He was the Chaitanya Charitamrita, which we are having today, it was discovered by him. It was lost. Nobody was having it. He searched and searched amid his official duties and family duties, and he discovered the book. And that book has become the foundation of today's Gaudiya movement. Whether it is Gaudiya Mutt or our ISKCON, the foundation is the Chaitanya Charitamrita, which was discovered by him, and Chaitanya Bhagavat, which was written by Vrindavan Das Thakur. These are our foundations. So here you see the family picture of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. You see him in the center. By his side is his wife, I think Bhagavati is her name. And on the left extreme, you see the two people, the small child you forget. Between the two others, one of them is our Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. I don't know which one. It could be the one on top, most probably, but I'm not very sure. So here is the picture of his family. So two acharyas of our parampara are in the same picture, father and son. But one is not directly the disciple. Yeah, this is a father and son relationship, but they are two acharyas of our parampara. Okay, now we come to the place where Prabhupada took his initiation. So now let us continue the story of Srila Prabhupada. So now we know Srila Prabhupada was married 1921. And 21, he had his first child. Yeah, first child was in 1921. And then he also had joined Dr. Bose Laboratories as a manager. They were distributing various pharmaceutical items, especially homeopathic medicine. And there he was appointed as a manager because Dr. Bose was a friend of our Abhay Charan's father. So that's how he was established there. And then, because of his growing family and responsibilities, Abhay Charan thought, I should grow business, I should do something bigger and better to maintain my family. So, after talking to Dr. Bose, he shifted his residence to Allahabad. And there he established a pharmacy. This happened in the year 1923. In the year 1923, Abhay Charan shifted to Allahabad with his family. He took one house for his family, and then he also rented a shop where he set up a shop called Prayaga Pharmacy. You know, Allahabad is also called Prayag. So he named his pharmacy Prayag Pharmacy, from where he was distributing medicines. Not only from there, he was also traveling and trying to establish connection with so many other retailers and wholesalers. Because he had this agency, with Dr. Bose Laboratory. So he was getting it in bulk. So in Prayaga Pharmacy, he was retailing, but at the same time, he was doing wholesale business. So you can imagine how busy he was. Constantly traveling, and wealth came to him as predicted in his horoscope. He became very wealthy. He bought a Buick car, which was there. Very few people had this car, and he bought this car, and he was using it for his business. His nephew would drive him. I showed you his photo in the last picture, last week. So he would be his driver, Tulsi, and Abhay Charan would travel in that car. So he was very wealthy and all those things. At that point of time only, his father, who was 75 and sick, he also joined Abhay Charan, and also his sister, Rajeshwari, along with her son, joined him. By that time, Srila Prabhupada had 2 sons, one son and one daughter. This photograph also we have seen last week. So like this, business was flourishing, but same time, the mind of Abhay Charan was only on the task that he had at hand. So the Gaudiya Mutt people would come to Allahabad. And then they came to know that Abhay Charan is there, they became very happy. So they would constantly engage him in going around the town to collect donations, to bring devotees, and to give lectures, to arrange pandal programs, and to build a temple. So Abhay Charan, with all his commitments, he gave his full energy for the temple, and the temple came up. So when the temple came up, and subsequently Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati visited, at that time Abhay Charan was recommended for initiation. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, I know him, I will initiate him because he likes to hear. Because he likes to hear. So now there is a flashback. We will go back in time. There was a time when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur would tour Vrindavan along with thousands and thousands of his devotees to show them various places and all. Prabhupada could not go because he was a family man with a lot of responsibilities and all. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati had many sannyasi and brahmachari disciples. They would travel with him everywhere. So one time, somehow Prabhupada managed to get some time and he went to Vrindavan and met his Guru Maharaj in a place called Kosi. At that time, he was not yet initiated. In Kosi, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was giving a class. And there was an announcement saying, those who want to listen to the pravachan of Saraswati Thakur, they can stay here. And those who want to take darshan of Vishnu in such and such temple, they can go because there is some special program, you can go to take darshan. So either you listen Guru's lecture or you go to take darshan. Almost all the disciples of Saraswati Thakur, they left to take darshan. Only a few people remained and Abhay Charan remained. He thought, what I will do going to the temple, I don't know anything about God. What I will do just to go and look at the form. Rather, here Guru Maharaj is explaining about God. I should rather try to understand God through my ears. This Guru knows God. He can show me God through my ears. Let me listen to him. So Prabhupada stayed. And the lecture went on for hours. Other people also left. Prabhupada remained. So Saraswati Thakur took notice. So that is why subsequently when he came to Allahabad and the topic of initiating Abhay Charan came up, he said, yes, I have marked him. He likes to hear. So you see how the Guru assesses the qualification of the disciple by the desire to hear. How sincerely we hear. Of course, today, hearing is supplemented by reading also. Hear and read. If you add in the association of devotees, that is perfect. When a senior Vaishnava is speaking, when a senior Acharya, Guru is speaking, we should take advantage and we should hear live. That has its power. But if you cannot hear live, then you can hear recordings and you can read the books of these Acharyas. Be very careful in choosing what you read. First preference is to the books written by Srila Prabhupada. Next preference is to the books of Acharyas. And then you can also read the books written by Prabhupada's disciples. Some books are written on Prabhupada. Other books are written as further commentaries on other scriptures. So we should remain very loyal to our movement and we should try to hear and read as much as possible. Now in this picture, you see where the initiation of Prabhupada took place. The first meeting of Prabhupada took place. This meeting took place in Calcutta in the year 1922, when Prabhupada was only 26 years old. He had a friend called Narendranath Mullik, very close friend. They studied together in college, and Prabhupada was very influential among his friends. They would always take the view of Prabhupada before doing anything. At that time, India was under foreign rule. The struggle for independence was going on. At the same time, there was an attack on the Hindu religion, on the Varnashrama Dharma. Because the British, they came not only as political leaders, but they also brought a whole lot of missionaries with them. And their business was to convert the people into their religion. Because unless you completely convert the population to conform with their culture, their religion, their belief systems, you cannot really control the people. And they found that this Varnashrama Dharma is the big obstacle for completely controlling India. So there were missionaries, they were going, talking ill of Hindu movement, misinterpreting our scriptures, telling people to become ashamed of our religion, and telling Jesus has come to save the world. You have to accept Jesus and you become a Christian. This was going on. So there was a lot of confusion because the entire education system by that time was westernized. Prabhupada also studied in a Scottish church college. So the original, the Gurukula system of education was destroyed. The knowledge of scriptures was destroyed. If you want to read scriptures, you have to read it in English. And the English translation was made by the missionaries. So you can imagine how they would have translated. A man called Max Muller. He has translated so much of the scriptures of India. And he is a missionary, Western preacher of Christianity. And even today, his books are adorning most of the libraries in India. If you want books on Indian religion, Hindu religion, you will find books of Max Muller. Even today, people call Max Muller as the father of Hinduism. They call him by so many names. But he's not a Hindu. He never appreciated Hinduism. His main intention was to put down Hinduism so that the missionaries can be more successful to win, converts like that. So in that situation, one day Narendra Murli called Srila Prabhupada, Abhay Charan, and said, one Vaishnava has come to town and I want you to see him and tell us whether he is genuine. But by this time, Prabhupada had given up all hopes on all these sannyasis because he found many of them smoking ganja or cigarettes or drinking coffee and tea or simply laying idle on the roadside. In the morning, they would put on the uniform of saffron clothes and they would go begging. And then when they are free, they will be sitting, smoking, drinking tea and gossiping. So he thought they are all like that. So he refused to go. After a lot of arguments and debates, ultimately, Narendra Murli, because of his friendship, literally dragged Abhay to this place. What you see, this was called number 1 Ultadanga Junction. That is the address of this place. And that is where Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati established his first mutt in Calcutta. Before that, he was in Navadvip. His father and son, they were living in a place called Swarupganj. From there, he shifted to Calcutta to expand his preaching. And the first place was Ultadanga Junction. And the mutt remained here between 1918 to 1930. And this was called Bhakti Vinod Asan. That name was given by Saraswati Thakur. And this is the place where the 1922, the most historic meeting of Srila Prabhupada and Srila Prabhupada took place. And you see in this picture, the structure as it was even 3-4 years ago. And then you also see what it is today. You can see nothing has been changed. The building is more than 100 years old, you can see, right? November 1918 was when Saraswati Thakur moved here. The building is older than that. Saraswati Thakur moved here in 80. Some private property, rented property. 100 years later, somehow it has come into the hands of ISKCON. After a lot of effort, of course, with a lot of expense, this property has been bought. But do you think it's a good thing? Whatever the cost that ISKCON has acquired this property, do you think it's a good thing that we have done? Please.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes?
Yes, Prabhuji. This is the historical monument for us to pay our homage as well as to visit and feel that our journey started from this auspicious journey started from this place.
And not for today only, for the next 10,000 years. So this is a monument for the next 10,000 years. From where Prabhupada got his guru and he also got his instruction. Here, Narendranath Malik and Srila Prabhupada went inside. You can see that it is only ground floor only. And there is a terrace. In the terrace, there is one room where Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur stayed. And the ground floor rooms are occupied by his disciples. And there is also a small temple. And the meetings would take place on the open terrace. Yeah. And that is where the meeting took place. There is a small staircase leading to the terrace. And that is where the meeting took place. Let us see some more pictures. So put these pictures into your heart. This is Ultadanga Junction. And this is Bhakti Vinod Asan, where this meeting took place in the year 1922. More pictures, old and new. Look at the building in such a bad condition. What ISKCON has done after taking over the temple, the building, they have not altered it. You know, the love of Prabhupada's disciples for him. They did not want to touch or alter one brick from there. It is all as it was. But simply by using the latest modern techniques for preservation of structures at great expense, the building is preserved as it was. No changes. So if you go and enter into the hallowed premises of this Ultadanga Junction, remember you are entering it as it was in 1922. 100 years later, you are now entering that place. And this is the terrace on which the meeting took place, and the terrace is preserved. I will show you some more pictures. So this is how the terrace looks now. Same, no change. Only well preserved for posterity. They use so much chemical treatments and so many other things. After a lot of study, and the whole thing is preserved as it was. If you go and touch the bricks, you will see there is a glaze on the bricks. Same old brick, but there's a glaze on it. I don't know how they have done it. And they will stay now without any disturbance. Nothing can change. Weather or anything cannot damage. So nicely, the job has been done. So this is the terrace, and you see the exact place where the meeting took place. So Narendra Malik went and they offered their Dandavat pranams to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. He was already sitting with a few disciples and giving a talk. And even before Prabhupada could raise his head, Abhay Charan could raise his head, he heard the words of Saraswati Thakur in his ears. And Saraswati Thakur was saying, "You are educated young man. I want you to preach the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the English-speaking world." That was heard by him even before he had raised his head. They don't know each other. First time they are seeing each other. And this message was coming loud and clear into his ears. You should preach in English to the English-speaking world because you are a cultured young man. You know English, and I want you to go to the West. So Abhay Charan was stunned that such instruction should come to him. As it is, you know, Abhay Charan is a pure Vaishnava, born and brought up in a Gaudiya Vaishnava family. He knows Radha Krishna. He knows Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. His father is a great worshipper of Mahaprabhu. And his father always prayed that his son should become a devotee of Radharani. And he should preach. His father had already planned that his son should preach. He had taught him Sanskrit language. He had taught him Mridanga playing. He had been discussing scriptures. They had performed Rath-yatras. And he had got Radha Krishna deities, which Prabhupada was serving daily. All these things. But still, Prabhupada says, this meeting of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was like opening the doors of his inner consciousness. Somehow, the Lord has arranged that the opening should happen through a spiritual master. However pure the soul could be, but the spiritual master, that meeting is like, a match being set to the train of gunpowder. There is a train of gunpowder and you light one match and then it explodes like that. Prabhupada is always a pure devotee, but then somehow this meeting, these few words of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur lit the fire in Abhay Charan. And then there was an argument at this very same place, at this very same meeting. Abhay Charan was saying, but independence first. We are slaves of British. We should get Swaraj. Then we can go and preach to them. Now they won't respect us. So the emergency is that we should become free first. We should join the freedom struggle. That is important. Spiritual renaissance can happen later. Immediately he was, the reply came from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. No, the emergency is not independence. The emergency is the message of Mahaprabhu that should reach the whole world. That there is no difference between the ruler and the slave. They are all suffering from the same birth, old age, disease, death. Adhyatmic, Adhidevik, Adhibaudik sufferings. Everywhere they are suffering. And the people in the West are suffering more because they don't have this knowledge at all. So there is no need to wait for independence. Spreading this message is more urgent. And Abhay Charan felt defeated. And he was so happy to be defeated because he saw he is a pure man and is giving the pure teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The lecture went on for 2 hours and Abhay Charan sat in rapt attention. And when they left, Narendra Mullik asked him, what do you say about this man? And Abhay Charan said, the future of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission is in the right hands. Here is a saintly person who will definitely execute the will of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that was the first meeting. So another meeting was, Kosi, correct? Which I have already described. Again in Allahabad, he got initiated. His name was given. Then one more time, when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was touring Radha Kund in Vrindavan, Prabhupada could join him briefly. And Prabhupada also took his son with him. Let me show you that painting. So this is another meeting at Radha Kund, where you can see Prabhupada, his son, and his guru, all three. There, his guru was telling about something very urgent and important. Right? By this time, Abhay Charan was initiated. So what he was telling, I have to jump between pictures. So now you have got a picture of this. Please aspire in your heart to be there. Please desire to see this place in Ultadanga, Calcutta. Please desire this. And the Lord will make it happen. So this is a painting of the meeting where Abhay is listening and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati is expounding the importance of distributing Mahaprabhu's knowledge. So one more. And this is the inside the building. It has been restored. They have not altered, but they have restored. Yeah. So this is the ground floor of that building. So there are some accommodation rooms and there is a museum. A lot of paintings are displayed. And here you see the hall. So the temple is in front of you and surrounded by this veranda and a sitting area. So from here you can watch the worship being done. And if you walk up the staircase, you reach Saraswati Thakur's room and the open terrace. And here are the deities on the right hand side. They are called Shri Shri Gandharva Giridhari. Both the pictures on the right hand side are the deities what you will see today in Ultadanga. But these deities were not there in Saraswati Thakur's time because they had vacated in 1930. After that, it was in some private hands, tenants and all were living. There was no temple. So these deities have been installed now, but we came to know that these deities are also very special. That this stone from which these deities have been carved, it's a very special stone, and they got this deity specially made for this altar. And the deities, what you see on the left-hand side, are the deities you have in the Ultadanga Mutt, which is in Bagh Bazar, also in Calcutta. In the year 1930, the Ultadanga Mutt shifted to this building because this is own building of Gaudiya Mutt. Bagh Bazar Gaudiya Mutt, own building. Ultadanga was a rented building and too small also. So they vacated and shifted here. So the deities in Bagh Bazar temple is the ones I showed you now. Yeah. On the left-hand side is the deities which is in Bagh Bazaar. And we can imagine that these were there in Ultadanga earlier. And they must have been shifted here because the mutt itself shifted here. So the deities must have also shifted here. So this is our understanding. And so Ultadanga, now so many disciples of Srila Prabhupada have visited there, and so many of them have made appeal that devotees should do something to restore this place and maintain it. So, like that. Okay. Okay. So now I want to speak to you a little about the parampara, because now that we have seen Srila Prabhupada and his Guru himself, I want to tell you a little more about the parampara. You have now seen Bhaktivinoda Thakur also. And but Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, though he is the son of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, but he is not the disciple of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He is the disciple of Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, whom you will see here on the right hand side. Gaur Kishore Das Babaji was an illiterate. He cannot even sign his name. He had a shop when he was young, maybe in his late teens and 20s, but then he lost his wife and then he took complete renunciation. He was a Vaishnava. He took complete renunciation and he became a Babaji. A Babaji means he doesn't look like a sannyasi, but he's more than a sannyasi. He doesn't wear saffron. He looks like any ordinary person, but he lives the life of a complete renunciate, fully dedicated to chanting the holy names of the Lord. So Gaur Kishore Das Babaji was never seen mixing with people. He would be always chanting the holy names. But people would not leave him. They would come to him for blessings. They would fall at his feet. They would say, please come home. Please come into my mutt. You give lectures from my mutt. Because they knew that this man is very, very powerful Vaishnava. When he becomes part of my ashram, I will get money. I will get devotees, like that. And people would come to him for material blessings. I want a child. I want to get married. I want my son to get a good job, like that. So they did not know the value of him who can give you liberation, who can give you Krishna, who can give you prema. But people did not understand. So he went into seclusion. Where he lived near public toilets. Dry toilets, not today's modern toilets. In those days, in the 1800s, he would live near dry toilets. Sometimes he would be inside the toilets and he would be found chanting, so that he would not be disturbed. Illiterate. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was a highly educated man, son of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, very brilliant, recognized as a very powerful teacher in those days. He wrote a book called Surya Siddhanta, which is about astronomy. Till today, that book is used in Bengal. Perfect book. So, and he also was a great, he had read all the books of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was a prolific writer, and he had read all the books. Apart from studying his college books, he would be also studying Bhaktivinoda Thakur's books. So he was a very erudite scholar. But his father told him, you take Diksha from Gaur Kishore Das Babaji. So let us understand that Vaishnava is not recognized in terms of his education, by the family into which he is born, how much wealth he is having, how aristocratic and majestic he looks, how nicely he speaks, how nicely he dresses. These are not the criteria for measuring Vaishnava. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur went to Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, and after a long, long struggle, he got initiated. Ultimately, he said, if I am not going to get initiated by you, why should I maintain my life? I will jump into Ganga. So all these stories, if you read, you will be very thrilled how Gaur Kishore Das Babaji tested Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati and how ultimately he gave Diksha. And you see the great difference between these two people. Gaur Kishore Das Babaji would never go out and preach. And he told his disciple also, hey, take care. The Maya is very strong. Don't go anywhere. Don't go to the city. Stay here in Navadvip only and do your bhajana. This is what Guru told his disciple. Stay here. Save yourself from Maya. Constantly chant the holy name. Don't get involved with materialistic people. And don't go to the city. These are all the things Gaurakrishna Das Babaji told. And these are all the things that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati completely violated. Anyone wants to say something? Hare Krishna. Are you following what I am saying?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So what is happening? Disciple is not
Hare-
following the instructions of Guru. Why?
If he doesn't mingle, how can he give Krishna Prema to everybody? Prabhuji? The fallen souls.
But Gaurakrishna Das Babaji clearly prohibits him from going. Okay, even though there is lack of time, I will tell you another story. This is a story that happened in South India. This is in the life of Ramanujacharya. Ramanujacharya wanted to take the meaning of the Om Namo Narayanaya, that Diksha, he wanted to take from a very senior Vaishnava in a place called Tirukoshtiyur. So this Vaishnava is called Tirukoshtiyur Nambi, and Ramanujacharya was in Srirangam. From Srirangam to Tirukoshtiyur, he would walk all the way and beg him, please give me the initiation into this holy name. He would say, no, not now. Like this, 18 times he walked. Ultimately, the Guru, even now with very, very hesitatingly, he said, all right, I will tell you, but you should not reveal this to anyone. If you reveal this to anyone, you will go to hell. And with that instruction, I am giving you. But again and again, I remind you, this is a complete secret because you have been chasing me like this so much. In great hesitation, I am giving you this mantra. And he took the mantra, and when he was returning to Srirangam, he saw so many people wandering here and there, doing their work, poor people, rich people, literate people, illiterate people, children, old people. His heart overflowed with compassion. Then he climbed on top of the temple tower, Tirukoshtiyur, Narayana temple. He went on top of the tower and he shouted, all of you people, you come. I will tell you the way to end all suffering. Everybody gathered. And from there he shouted, chant this holy name, Om Namo Narayan. And this will liberate you from all suffering. And you can go back to God. So Tirukoshtiyur Nambi was in a house nearby, the temple only. And he heard some commotion. He asked, what is going on? They said, you know, your disciple whom you initiated, he is now standing on top of the temple tower and he is shouting the secret mantra to everyone. And Ramanuja, after doing this, he returned to his Guru and fell at his feet. And the Guru was so angry and said, why did you do it? I have told you very clearly that you should not do this. Why did you violate my own words? I told you clearly that you will go to hell and all this. I warned you. Then Ramanujacharya told, my dear Guru, I know what you told and your words are very valuable. I know I will end up in hell, but it doesn't matter. Then I saw all these people suffering and I know the medicine. How can I not give it to them? That mantra which will put an end to all their suffering, how can I keep it secret with me? So please forgive me. I am ready to suffer in hell forever. And again he fell at the feet of Tirukoshtiyur Nambi. And Tirukoshtiyur Nambi picked him up and embraced him tightly. And he said, you are a true Vaishnava. I am so happy with you. So now we can try and relate this between Gaur-Kishore Das Babaji and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Whatever Gaur-Kishore Das Babaji told And whatever Gaur Kishore Das Babaji exemplified in his life, Saraswati Thakur violated that. He went to Calcutta. He set up his ashram in Calcutta. And he preached from Calcutta all his life. He left his body in Calcutta. And he preached to wealthy people. He spoke to people who were steeped in Maya. And he developed so many disciples, tens of thousands of disciples. So that is how so these are all things which we cannot understand very completely, but let us understand that there is a pure relationship between Guru and Shishya. The Shishya knows the heart of the Guru. Whenever Saraswati Thakur would come to visit Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, Babaji would say, Manjari is coming. I can hear the tinkling of the ankle bells. Saraswati Thakur was wearing no ankle bells. Yeah. So these are all people who came from spiritual world. They are all Manjaris of Srimati Radharani. They are her eternal assistants. They came at the order of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to distribute the message of Mahaprabhu and save this world, save the fallen souls. So this is a small introduction to the parampara. So now you know our Srila Prabhupada, Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. His guru is Saraswati Thakur and his guru is Gaur Kishore Das Babaji. And Gaur Kishore Das Babaji's guru is Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who is the father of Saraswati Thakur. Gaur Kishore Das Babaji is a completely renounced Babaji. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is a family man with 10 children and having big position in the government and living in a very wealthy aristocratic lifestyle. And this Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, who likes to chant in public toilets, he would go daily to the house of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and in a corner, he would do his bhajana. He would do his nama japa. So, how? He avoids all opulence, but he chooses to come to the house of Bhaktivinoda Thakur and do his bhajan. So, these are all things. So, Gaur Kishore Babaji is the disciple of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So, now you catch the parampara. And who is the guru of Bhaktivinoda Thakur? We have this Jagannath Das Babaji. He's a Siksha Guru. Maybe in another class we will try. I think all of you know difference between Diksha Guru and Siksha Guru. Ours is called a Siksha Parampara. Diksha we have to definitely take from a Guru. He becomes our Diksha Guru. But Siksha, if your Diksha Guru is not giving Siksha, you can take from other Siksha Gurus approved by your Guru. And within ISKCON, because it is one mission and everybody is speaking the message of Srila Prabhupada only, so you can make any of the disciples of Srila Prabhupada as your Siksha Gurus. Even though you may be taking Diksha from only one of the Gurus, but all the Gurus of ISKCON are your Siksha Gurus. You can take instructions from all of them, and there is no difference between Diksha Guru and Siksha Guru. Taking a Diksha Guru is very essential for our spiritual progress. Diksha Guru connects you to the parampara. That connection is very important. You cannot remain like a loose cannon and hope to go back home back to God. You have to connect to the parampara, and that connection is through the process of Diksha. But at the same time, you may be taking instructions from other Siksha Gurus within ISKCON as well, and you can still remain very loyal to the Guru. When you see that any Siksha Guru is deviating from the instructions of Prabhupada, then you can avoid that Siksha Guru. If you find that any teacher is deviating, then you can avoid. So, or you can consult senior Vaishnavas to find out whether you are making a mistake. Yeah. But Siksha Guru is our parampara. Mainly our parampara is a Siksha parampara. Even though you may be taking Diksha from one Guru, but it is a Siksha that will help you to progress in your sadhana. And for that purpose, if your Diksha Guru himself is your Siksha Guru, well and good. But for some reason, you are not able to take Siksha from your initiating Guru, you can always take from so many other initiating Gurus. They are all giving so many lectures. They are all available on YouTube. They have written books. They are all accessible. Plus, you have all the books of Prabhupada, which you can all read. So this is the way we understand our parampara. Jagannath Babaji, you can see, he lived for a very, very long time, more than 140 years or something like that. And he helped to discover the birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Actually, the birthplace was discovered by Bhakti Vinod Thakur. One day, Bhakti Vinod Thakur was standing in his house in Swarupganj. As I told you, Swarupganj is in Navadvip area only. It is on the bank of Jalangi River. Jalangi River is a branch of Ganga only. He was standing there, and into the night he was looking, always meditating in his heart. I want to know the birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Before that, people believed that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born on the other shore of Ganga in a place called Navadvip, in a town. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur had a doubt. No, they must be wrong. So on the basis of so many textbooks and scriptures and consultations, he finally located one place. And that night, when he was standing on the roof of his house, along with his son, Saraswati Thakur, and another friend, he saw in the darkness, one place was lit with very powerful lights. And within that light, he saw one building also shining. He asked his son, do you see what I see? His son confirmed, yes, I see a very bright light and a building. He asked his friend. Friend said, I don't see anything. So both father and son saw. And next day, after making some inquiries, they found out that it is a place called Baladigi, which was originally a palace of a king called Swarnasen. So they went there and they saw the place covered in tulsi plants. That place was all owned by Muslims. How did all these tulsi plants come? And then to reconfirm, Bhaktivinoda Thakur brought Jagannath Das Babaji, who was at that time maybe 120 years old. He doesn't walk. He was carried in a basket by his disciple. He brought the basket to this area and put it down. Instantly, Jagannath Das Babaji jumped 20 feet into the air, shouting, Jai Sachinandan, Jai Sachinandan, Jai Sachinandan, like that, confirming that this is the birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So later on, by the efforts of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, a temple was built, and that is what you see today when you go to Mayapur as Yogapeeth. That place was actually discovered by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Before that, they all thought Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born in Navadvip only. So this is the significance of our parampara. And the discovery of Yogapeeth was made by three of our acharyas, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and Jagannath Das Babaji. So we should always remember the importance of the parampara, and the mercy of the Lord is flowing through the parampara. And the way to connect to the parampara is to constantly be grateful, loyal, and humble. We should see ourselves as mere instruments. We have to simply execute the orders of the parampara, and we should never try to acquire any glory, name, fame, power, position, prestige, wealth, etc. In our mission, we should be completely surrendered. We should try to practice what we learn, and we should try to teach it to the world. So that is the mood in which we have to operate. So with this, I think because we are overshooting, let me just tell you a few more points what I have written down, and then we will close this. So in 1921, as I said, Abhay Charan had his first child, and then they shifted to Allahabad in the year 1923. Later on, he was joined by his father also. By this time, Gaur Mohan De was 75 years old, and he also joined. And Prabhupada opened his shop called Prayaga Pharmacy, and Dr. Ghosh joined him so that Dr. Ghosh would see the patients and give prescription, and Abhay Charan would distribute the medicine like that. And they both became very good friends. And two important customers were Motilal Nehru and Jawaharlal Nehru. You know, they belonged to Allahabad, and they were customers of Prayaga Pharmacy. And so later on, the disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur visited that place, and all kinds of help they received from Abhay Charan only, which later on led to the initiation also. In the year 1930, his father died, Gaur Mohan De, when Abhay Charan was only 34 years old. At the age of 16, mother left. Age of 34, father left. But by that time, they had laid the strong foundation for Abhay Charan. Even today, as parents, we should recognize and realize that the only way we can help our children is to give them a strong spiritual grounding. This is what we should aspire for. Whether you leave behind a lot of wealth or not, it is immaterial. Even if you leave enough wealth for 3 generations, it can be gone in a few years if they are not in the hands of the right people. The world is full of foxes, wolves, hyenas, and vultures, and eagles, and owls, and crows. In no time, the wealth will be squandered away. It's never enough how much wealth you leave for your children. But if you leave behind character, if you can give them connection to the parampara, if you can make them Vaishnavas, that is your greatest gift forever. So here we see Gaur Mohan De was very sick. At that time, Abhay Charan was in Bombay, expanding his business from Allahabad to Bombay, other places. One night, Gaur Mohan De was sick and he was telling his daughter, go and open the door, Abhay has come. His daughter said, Abhay is in Bombay, how he will come? But then there was a knock on the door. And this lady, Rajeshwari, went and opened. And there Abhay was there. And he went straight to his father. They were sitting and talking for some time. Then Abhay asked, is there anything you wish me to do for you? His father asked him, why? Did the doctor say something? He said, no. As a son, it is my duty to take care of your wishes. That's why I'm asking. So his father said, see, the cow and calf we have at home, please donate it to Gaudiya Mutt. So the very next day, Abhay Charan took the cow and calf and gave it to Gaudiya Mutt. He came back and asked again, Father, is there anything else you want me to do? Father said, why do you ask? Did the doctor say something? No. As a dutiful son, I just want to ask. Then he said, yes, call all Vaishnavas in and around, whether they are Gaudiya Vaishnavas or not, Vaishnavas you bring, and have a nice kirtan and you feed them sumptuous prasad. Prabhupada did that, Abhay Charan. There was a nice program and his father was there. He enjoyed it and all. That night, Gaur Mohan De left his body. And so Abhay was left forlorn. Both parents are gone, on whom he so much depended. We know how much he depended on mother. Same way, his father was his friend, philosopher, guide all along. But now father is also gone. So now let us continue next week how the life goes on from here. A few other points, I think, lack of time. I will not. Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. I have a few questions, like a quiz. You can try to do that. Just one moment.
Prabhu, you're on mute.
What is the Guru's name of Abhay Charan?
Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati.
Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Prabhuji.
Very right. And what is his Guru's name?
Gaur
Jagannath Das
Kishore.
Babaji.
Babaji.
Gaura Babaji.
Very good.
Gaur Kishore Das Babaji.
And
Gaur
his
Kishore
Guru.
Das.
His Guru.
Bhakti Vinod Thakur.
Bhakti Vinod Thakur.
Vinod Thakur.
And his Guru.
Jagannath Das
Jagannath
Babaji.
Das Babaji Maharaj.
So these names you should always remember. And before you start chanting, you should remember these people. And above these people, we have the 6 Goswamis. Can anyone name the Goswamis?
Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami,
Sanatana Goswami, then
Jiva Goswami,
Yes.
Raghunatha Bhatta, Raghunatha Dasa, and Gopala Bhatta Goswami.
Yes. So these are the 6 Goswamis. They were the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They were the contemporaries, and they were specifically sent by Mahaprabhu to Vrindavan with some objectives. Number one, they have to discover the places of pastimes of Radha and Krishna, and they have to build temples to commemorate these things, and they have to write scriptures in terms of bhakti to bring out the philosophy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They have to study the scriptures in all languages, all religions, and then bring out the essence in their books. Like that, many instructions were given. They were all the contemporaries. But same time, Mahaprabhu told, for 300 years after my departure, everything will be covered, including my birthplace. Ganga will change the course, birthplace will be covered, and the entire mission will be lost. And actually happened like that. Gaudiya Vaishnavism got totally distorted, immorality entered. They started saying Krishna himself, was dancing with all kinds of girls, married to other people and all that. So this is the way to please Krishna. We are also acting like Radha and Krishna. So men and women would get together, indulge in all kinds of nonsensical activities. They were all called Sahajiyas. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur identified and he segregated them from Vaishnavism. They said they are not bona fide Vaishnavas. And he restored the reputation of Vaishnavism. Before that, Vaishnavism had lost all the reputation because of all these people who were misusing and engaging in immoral activities in the name of Vaishnavism. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he searched and searched and searched and finally found a copy of Chaitanya Charitamrita, which all of us are having today. He discovered that, and based on that, he restored the entire movement. He made the blueprint for distributing the mercy of Mahaprabhu. And that blueprint was executed by his son within India and by the disciple of his son throughout the world. So, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is also called the seventh Goswami. Even though he is not a contemporary of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he appeared 300 years later, still considering the amount of work he did. He was an amazing personality. If you just see the activities of Bhaktivinoda Thakur in one day, you will be amazed. And you see an exact copy in Srila Prabhupada. How he was active throughout the day. Only 2 hours of sleep per day. Both of them were like that. So, okay. Next thing, in which year Srila Prabhupada was initiated?
1933.
1933.
Allahabad.
Yeah, and it was in Allahabad. His guru came and initiated him. Yeah. And what was the name given by his guru? Initiating name?
Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati.
That is guru's name. But what name did he give to his disciple?
Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupada.
Bhakti Vedanta.
So what
Bhakti
was the
Vedanta.
name? What was the name given by father to Abhay?
Abhay Charan.
Abhay Charan.
Abhay Charan.
Abhay Charan
Abhay
was
Charan.
given by father. And guru modified it slightly.
Vinod.
Sorry, please
Abhay
remain
Charan
on
Arvind.
mute. So, yeah, all of you kindly go on mute. Yeah. So guru gave him the name Abhaya Charanara Vinda. That is the initiated name. Abhay Charan, father given name. Abhay Charanara Vinda, guru given name. He did not change his name, right? Abhay Charanara Vinda. Bhakti Vedanta was a title later on added by the God brothers of Prabhupada. Prabhupada was a family man. And there were so many other sannyasi disciples of the Guru, but still they chose to give the title Bhakti Vedanta to our Prabhupada. So that is how it became Abhay Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta. Swami and Prabhupada were the names lovingly given by his disciples. Earlier, Prabhupada was used only to describe Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. But when his disciples very lovingly requested Prabhupada to call him by the name Prabhupada, he agreed. Even today, in Gaudiya Math, there is objection to calling our Guru as Prabhupada. But by seeing the kind of work that he has done, based on the scriptures, it is very appropriate to call him as Prabhupada. He is an empowered son of God who was sent here to distribute the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, so yes, where was the first meeting?
OC?
Ulta, no,
In 1922,
no,
Where?
Ulta
Where
Danga.
was
Calcutta, Ulta Danga.
Ulta
1920
Danga, Prabhuji.
in Ulta
Number
Danga.
one, Ulta Danga.
Yes, and that was a rented place. Now it is owned by ISKCON. That now the place is owned by ISKCON. So it is an important place to visit, along with so many other places in Calcutta. When you go, you should visit. From Ulta Danga, where did the mud shift?
Bagh Bazaar.
Bagh Bazaar.
Bagh Bazaar. That mud is still very much there. That mud is very much there. You will, if you go and see how glorious it is, it's quite a big structure with a nice temple, many rooms for the disciples and all that. And Ganga is flowing. Just you can go up and see Ganga flowing there. And the deities of Gandharva Giridhari and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very much there. You can see. And that is a place where he left his body also. And there is an important plaque on the wall. I think Deepa Menon Mataji can speak something about that.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavata Pranam.
Prabhuji, on that Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's room outside. Yes. Can I read those words?
Amazing. Yeah, please. Yeah.
The Lord desires His word to be reached to all living beings. A day will come when His word will be preached everywhere, all over the world, through the medium of all the languages, including the language of animals and plants. When this will be practicable, Gaurasundara will be the fullness of time, raise up fit reach in every part of the world, and in numbers amply sufficient for His purpose. Actually, I've taken a picture when I went there, so it's not very clear, but yes, I remember you were asking me to read it very carefully.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So this is the power of the mission. Don't underestimate. So powerful. Because the power of Krishna, the power of Mahaprabhu is flowing through this mission. All that we have to do is sincerely connect to the chain of Guru Sishya Parampara, and amazing things will happen in our life and in the lives of those who are around us. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who is a Manjari, who is an empowered Acharya, he's telling preaching will happen in every language, of animals and plants also. People will come in the parampara in future. They will have the ability to connect to animals and birds and plants. And these words cannot be taken lightly. And there'll be massive preaching going on in the whole world. So in our own position, let us do that little bit, whatever we can do, which is pleasing to the parampara, pleasing to our spiritual master. That in all humility, only out of gratitude, we will do our preaching. Not because I am a great preacher, not that I am going to transform the world, but out of gratitude. Let us do this little bit, and it will be immensely pleasing to the parampara. So thank you so much. So if you have any questions you may ask, please allow me to stop the live stream. Is there anything you would like